Hello. This morning we fed our sourdough starter and I used the one that should have gone in the trash to make sourdough bread. I'm going to show you that soon. And it is the evening and I like to take some of that sourdough. We are going to call it 15 days old sourdough starter. I'm going to take some to make sourdough pizza for lunch tomorrow. So I'm going to mix the dough this evening. For that reason, I'm going to feed the sourdough starter and take the remaining to mix the sourdough pizza dough. And we are going to make the sourdough pizza with bleached flour. So let's check the bread. I just took it out of the oven and it is right here. I didn't record the video. I show how I was mixing it in the morning, but I didn't record the whole process. So we have the bread here. It turned out very good. So that's 15 days old a sourdough starter that we use to make the sourdough bread with bleached flour. It has sugar, it has water, it has bleached flour, and it has sourdough starter. So, and that's 2 batches. So pretty much I use 6 cups of flour, and I'm going to use the same recipe. Usually the recipe that I use for the measurement that I use for pizza is a little bit different from the bread, but I'm going to use the same recipe to see how it's going to turn out. So I'm going to use 6 cups of bleached flour and 2 cups of water and any leftover of sourdough starter to make the pizza, just like the way I mix the dough in the morning for the bread. So let's come to this station here where I have things waiting, and our 15 days old sourdough starter is here, and as you can see it rose all the way to the top and went back down. So I'm going to feed it. Usually until now for 15 days we only fed it once a day. Like for 14 days we fed it once a day, but because I'm going to use it twice today, I'm going to feed it to take some. So I have things here. What I'm going to do first, we are going to feed it first to get our leftovers. So I'm going to get a spoon, wash my hand, I just came back from outside harvesting Egyptian onion that I'm chopping and putting in freezer bag for winter. So we are in May and already stocking up for winter time. So during the season we'll eat from outside, like from the garden, and during winter we'll eat vegetables that we stock up on and have in the freezer. So here first let's get this clean jar. I have half cups of water that I'm going to pour in it. I'm going to add 1 cup of flour, and that's our bleached flour here. And that's bleached flour, all-purpose flour. I used to use unbleached flour, but at this time it's hard to find flour in the store, so they carry more bleached flour. So I have that, and I'm just going to pour 1 cup of flour into my jar here, in my jar, and let's stir our sourdough starter and take a half cup. I still have my half cups here, and I'm just going to pour half in it. that's that. And I'll put it on my flour and water mixture here. So the pizza, we are going to eat it for lunch tomorrow, and when it's like that, I will mix the dough in the evening. And right now it's 6:06 p.m. So usually I like to do it right before bedtime, but it doesn't really matter when. I just like to make sure I do it in the evening so that it has time to rise by the morning. And I will put it in the pan for the second rise. It's not necessary, it's for thick crust. If you don't want your crust to be thick, you only let it rise once, and when you put it in the pan, you put it in the oven to bake. So we have we want to make sure that we get everything mixed together, and I think we got that done. I'm just going to scrape the jar a little bit. And we fill our starter. So I'm going to put the lid on it, and if I'm going to use it again tomorrow, I'll leave it on the counter, otherwise it'll go in the fridge. At this point we are done making sourdough starter. Our sourdough starter is ready to bake with, and I have baked twice already. I have made sourdough bread twice. Today was the second time, so it is ready. I'm not going to keep two types of sourdough starter. I might mix it with the one that I have in the fridge and just feed half cups and use the remaining to bake.
I know.
Jaden, can you keep the voice down? So now we have our leftover here. That's what I'm going to put in this jar here, but we can measure it. Usually I don't measure it, I'll just put in the jar. Jaden, I'm recording. Then you keep your voice down. Have you washed your hand already? Yeah, but still don't put it in your mouth. And I think we might just have about, usually I have about a half cup and 1/4. That's 3/4 cups, but that's half. Let's see if you're able to find a little bit more to scrape. So I'm just going to pour it here. It doesn't matter whether I'm making one batch or two batches of sourdough pizza or sourdough bread. I just use all the leftover of my starter. It might make the mixture. It might make the mixture more soft if that's just a single batch, but it doesn't matter to me. I don't change the water. I don't change the water measurement. If I'm using 3 cups of flour, I will use 1 cup of water and any leftover of sourdough starter. And if I'm using 6 cups of flour, I will use 2 cups of water and any leftover of sourdough starter. You wash it first. So don't use the water. Put it down there and leave for now. So we have about 1/4 or a little bit less. So we have about 3/4 of sourdough starter here that we are mixing, that we are putting in our bowl here for our sourdough pizza. I'm just going to scrape it. So to that I'm going to add 2 cups of water, and it's filtered water from the fridge filter. So that's 1 cup for 3 cups of flour, and 1 cup of water for another 3 cups of flour. So that's 2 cups of water for 6 cups of flour. And if you want, you can add salt. I don't, because there will be meat. The meat will have salt. There will be tomato sauce that I will cook. I have, in fact, I have leftover that I made, and I took it out of the freezer, so it has salt. I'm not going to add salt to this. Jaden, don't slam the door. It's making a lot of noise, okay? You have to hold the door, okay? So let me wash my hands a little bit here. And just put this in the sink too. So to this, I'm going to add 6 cups of flour. And I have my cups here. And I have my bleached flour here. And you can use the knife to scrape the top of the flour if you want, but I'm not going to do that. I just shake it a little bit. So now, with clean hand, I'm just going to mix everything together. And usually, because I don't weigh the flour, I just scoop it. I have been doing it for sometimes now. If it's not soft the way I want it, I'll add a little bit more water to it. Because when the dough is soft, it's easy to spread it in the pan, in the baking pan. But if it's on the house, is hard. It's hard to spread it. So, and at this point, I will say that it doesn't have enough water. So to this, I'm going to add 1/4 cups of water. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to take it from the top. I'm going to use 1 cup. I'm just going to add a little bit to it, pretty much half to it, because you see the way it is. So you have to take into consideration the flour you are using, but you can start with the measurement, but you need to take into consideration how dry your area is, or wet it is, and how light you are on the flour or heavy you are on the flour. And at this point, I put half of 1/4 cups of water in it, and I will say that's enough for me. If I add more water to it, it will be too soft. Although it is still hard, but you can see you just have to mix it until you have a ball. Everything is off the ball itself. There is no kneading needed, no machine required. Just for a few seconds, you just need to try to get everything together. And that's pretty much it. It can be a little bit softer than this, but not harder than this, not drier than that. So now, in fact, what I'm going to do, because that's 2 batches for our household of 7, I'm going to divide it dough. That they all have room to grow, and then I'll just put a towel on it. And let me show you where I'm going to put it. Just right there by the stove. And I have my towel here. I'm just going to put it on it like that. Thank you for watching. I'm Afia Odune Liberman, creators of Liberman Consulting L.L.C YouTube channel and owners of Nina Soap. And our website is ninasoap.com.